Hi, this is a video, I think it's another list, forgive me, but it's a top 10 list. It's a top 10, well, not really a top 10, but it's a top 10 fragrances I want to get rid of and fragrances that I am getting rid of. So these are for various reasons and I will go through them one by one, but I've picked out 10 fragrances that I actually don't want anymore. And some are, it's because I just don't like them anymore, or that I actually never did when I bought them and I've just been hanging on to them thinking that one day I'll come around, but that day hasn't come and it's been a long time. So here we go. I'm going to crack on with the list, and number one on that list is this one that I bought a few years back because it was just there. It's called Mercedes-Benz Intense. It's a hefty bottle and it's got a production defect in that the collar actually comes off. It's not stuck on properly, but someone said it smells like Dior's Fahrenheit. Yes, it has a similarity because it's a violet-based fragrance and that's all it does. It's quite linear, it's quite long-lasting and well-projecting, but that's all it does. There's no leather, there's no depth, there's no petroleum note in here. So if you really want the violet aspects of, Dior's Fahrenheit without the petroleum and without the leather in the background as well, and something fairly linear and floral, then you can go for this one. To me, I tried to like it. I tried to use it maybe as an alternative to Fahrenheit when I don't really want to smell like petroleum and leather. That's what it comes across to me as anyway. And I also wanted to not dive too deeply into my vintage original formulation batch of Fahrenheit as well. So I thought this would be a good substitute, but it wasn't because, I haven't really used up too much of it, as you can see there. And this is a 120 ml bottle. It's, like I said, a really hefty bottle, and I've used up maybe 10 mils of it in the space of like 3 years. I hardly ever reach for it, so I'm going to get rid of it. There used to be a time when I had a philosophy of I will never ever get rid of a fragrance that I've purchased, and that's a philosophical reason in that I thought I would come around to them eventually and I would learn to understand what they were trying to achieve with the fragrance. But time has proven me wrong once again, and I'm happy to be wrong in this case because there might be somebody else out there that really enjoys this that I can pass it on to. When I say I'm getting rid of the fragrance, I'm not exactly tossing it into the rubbish bin. I'm going to crush it and then I'm going to set it on fire. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm actually either selling these or giving these away. I've already given a few away to some friends who are younger and who have sort of younger tastes and sensibilities in fragrance, and they're not really into fragrances as well. And I made them smell a few things and I was like, hey, do you like that? Do you like this? And they were like, yeah, I like these ones. These are really nice. I said, great, you can have them. Go away. So there it is. That's number one in the list of 10 because this is a top 10. All right, number two in this top 10 is right here. It is a very, very familiar bottle. Once it actually focuses in, you will be able to see that it is Guerlain's Habit Rouge. Habit Rouge. How can I not like this, you say? Well, this is going to be a bit divisive because this is Shalimar's younger brother. Okay, 1963 release, I think, and yeah. Baby powder with some lemon and some citrus at the top. I don't really know. It's baby powder, not baby powder. Baby's nappies and citrus. I don't dig it. With Shalimar, you get rewarded to get past that sort of nappy face into this dirty balsamic sort of vanilla, right? But this one doesn't give you that same thing, and I just can't get past it. It really smells old manish, and by old manish I mean the type of old man that wears adult diapers. I'm not there yet. So I'm passing it on. I haven't really worn too much of it because the last time I tried to wear it, my wife said, don't wear that. Wise words. And of course, she says that to a number of other fragrances, things like, fecal oud fragrances, for example, but I do enjoy some of those. I don't enjoy this, so I'm moving it on. Now, this next one is going to come as a huge shock to anybody who's watched any of my previous videos on this fragrance, and that's because I love this fragrance. I love it to bits. I have I've gone on and on about it. I've made several fragrance videos about it, reviews about it, mini movies about it even. I've gone to great lengths to promote my love of this particular fragrance. It is this one right here. It is Opium pour Homme by Yves Saint Laurent. Why am I getting rid of this? Well, easy. This one's easy because this is the reformulated eau de toilette. And whilst it smells very nice, and as you can see, I've used up a bit of it, I've also procured the eau de parfum, the vintage eau de parfum, and the vintage eau de toilette, the first formulation eau de toilette. And therefore, I have no place for this because this kind of is like a shadow of its previous self. Because I've been tainted in this way, I have no use for this anymore. So maybe if somebody else who's keen to get their nose on the Opium sort of DNA, what it kind of smells like, they can pick this up from me. But yeah, it's really not for me anymore. I can't seriously wear it anymore. If I'm going to reach for Opium, I'm going to go wear either the eau de parfum or the original eau de toilette. And I've gone into great detail as to how to recognize the vintages in previous fragrances. You can search them up on my channel, or if you have questions about any of these things, hit me up on Instagram. I'll put my link, whatever that's called, to it somewhere in the description. And number 4, I think we're at number 4, is this one right here. This is Zara's Classic 9.0. Okay, this I picked up because one of my subscribers, Sammy, I love you, Sammy, he recommended that I get this because I really like Dior Homme, and he said that this is a really good iris scent if you really like iris and the Dior Homme kind of iris. And yes, I do, and this is quite nice. However, I've got a ton of Dior Hommes and I never reach for this. So when I want to smell like Dior Homme, I have the luxury to crack open Dior Homme. And when I finish that, I've got a few more, which is kind of stupid and bad, but really I do use and wear Dior Homme quite a bit because I still really enjoy it. I don't wear this. Whenever I feel like iris, I'll go wear that. I won't wear this. So I'm passing it on to maybe someone else who might like this. There are a lot of people that do actually like this fragrance and prefer to wear this fragrance because maybe they haven't smelled Dior Homme yet. I don't know. But maybe they prefer it over Dior Homme even if they have smelled it. But I prefer Dior Homme over this, so I will pass this on. Halfway through the list at number 5, and here's one out of left field that doesn't really get talked about all that often. It is this one right here. It is called Ikon by Zirh or Zirh, Ikon, whatever. For this particular weird sized bottle, which I think is a 75 ml, you get a magnetic cap, which is okay. Kind of okay, yeah. You get a decent sort of perfumey kind of smell, just like maybe a rung above a deodorant. This is where that's at. I had a vintage bottle of this, as in one of the first releases when it came out. It had this beautiful smoky sort of note in it. That's missing from this one. It probably explains why it's $14 and I just can't do it. I bought it for a laugh because it was just there, and I haven't worn it, to be truthful. I've sprayed it a few times and I've put it like just on my arm or something like that, but I haven't given it a full wearing since I got this bottle. It's very full and I just can't do it. It's a bit of a joke right now, so I don't even think I'm going to be able to pass this on. So this might actually end up as, you know, fire starter for the barbecue or something like that. I don't know, but whatever I do with it, it won't be with me for too much longer. Okay, the next one I picked up again because it was so cheap and I couldn't resist a bargain. I think it was $23 for 50 ml of this one right here. This is Burberry's Brit Rhythm for Him Eau de Toilette Intense. That's a mouthful. In my original unboxing of this and first impressions video, which is on my channel, you can search it up, or I can leave a card for it if I couldn't be bothered doing that in post. I said that it smelled like rotting vegetables. I took that back later when I presented this in another video somewhere down the line. And I must admit that rotting vegetables thing is somewhat dissipated, but it's still kind of there in the background. Again, it's another one of those fragrances that's in that zone where I call the dead zone. The dead zone is the cheapie zone. Let me explain this. There are certain tiers of fragrances. Most of the time you get what you pay for. When you're paying around $20 to around $60 for a bottle of fragrance, you're not gonna like it for too much longer. If you have some alternatives at a higher price point, at a higher quality, at a higher creativity to compare them to. Of course, I have a ton to compare to. I have a bunch of uber niche sort of fragrances hanging around. And yes, they are well more expensive than this is, but I still wear them. I don't wear this. I don't wear this anymore. I think I've worn it twice and it's just not for me anymore. I think I've grown out of it, you know? I think I've grown out of it. And the one thing that I've learned is, as tempting as it is to purchase a whole bunch of cheapies because people do cheapie lists and you're like, oh my God, I can buy the whole list and it'll probably end up costing me like $300-400 and I'll have 10 fragrances to choose from. Yes, you will. You'll have 10 cheap shit fragrances to choose from, but that doesn't really always equal value, especially if you're looking to smell good and to smell as good as you can possibly smell. If you do honestly enjoy the scents, go ahead, wear the shit out of it. Doesn't matter if it's $5, but if you're only doing it because it's cheap and you can buy enormous quantities of cheap fragrances, let me stop you there. You don't need a collection. No one needs a collection. You just need some really high quality shit. But, and there is always a but, you can't get to that high quality shit without having to wade through the shit cheapies first. And that's why it's a necessary step, but don't go overboard. Your nose has to grow, your nose has to develop, and your nose has to learn what is good, what is shit, what is lower tier, what's middle tier, what's niche, what's uber niche. Not everyone's gonna like it. If you're looking to be popular, then that's a certain category. If you're looking to be easy wearing, not thinking about what season it is, what you're wearing, what the occasion is, easy going. But if you're actually thinking about this stuff, then I'd recommend either steering clear of this range altogether or grabbing a few only. The ones that have been tried and tested and been reviewed to death so that people are like, yes, the consensus or the majority says, yes, these are good. These are cheap, but these are good. This is cheap. It's okay. It's okay. It's not good. It's okay. Is it for me? Not anymore. I don't think it ever was, but I gave it a shot and I didn't like it. Even though some of these cheapies, sometimes they have like actual really, really good perfumers behind them. They just don't have the budget, or they have the budgetary constraints that they have to work with when creating for a brand like this and creating it with the foresight that eventually it's going to end up at some kind of chemist or at a discounter being sold for $20 a bottle. So there you go, that's my rant. Burberry Brit, rhythm for men, intense sort of twilight, not for me. Moving it on. Now I must admit this next one I bought because a YouTube reviewer told me to buy it. Well, they didn't tell me to buy it. They don't say buy it. Well, some of them actually do tell you to buy it, but this one said, it's really solid, man. It's really good. I wear it all the time. Really? And that's probably the last fragrance that I've bought based off this fragrance reviewer's recommendation. Probably like the biggest fragrance reviewer who is not German. I think you guys can tell who that is, but he recommended this one right here. Oh, if you can't see it, it says Gucci pour homme. This is not my coveted Gucci pour homme from 2003. This is a different Gucci pour homme. I think it's actually called Gucci. No, it's called Gucci pour homme. Why would they fucking do this? They had a Gucci pour homme in the 70s, and then they had another Gucci pour homme in 2003. And then they had another Gucci pour homme. They called it Gucci pour homme 2 in 2007. And then they released this. I don't really know or care what year. Maybe it's 2015. I don't know. 2010. I don't know. I don't care. It's also called Gucci pour homme. They also had one called Gucci by Gucci. Gucci pour homme Gucci. What? But anyway, this with its King Charles. Not King Charles. Is it King Charles? whatever it is, with its funky lid over here. It just smells like, again, it's like a rung above a deodorant. Like, you know, I could just spray this on my armpits, but it really wouldn't do the job of an antiperspirant. So I use an antiperspirant, and so I don't have any use for this. I was told that it's nice, but I don't like nice. So I'm moving it on. Great bottle, by the way, pretty good quality, you know, but I don't have a shelf. If you noticed in any of my videos, I don't really have a shelf that I can sort of flex in front of or anything like that. And I don't even have a shelf in the house anywhere, because I just keep mine in a wardrobe, in a dark space where my fragrances can't be, you know, affected by heat and humidity and light and that kind of thing, because I want them to stay in tip-top shape, because I want to smell them the way that they were intended for as long as I can possibly have them. So that's why I don't need to put this on a shelf, because the bottle looks nice. Maybe one day I'll get a shelf, I don't know. But at the moment, I don't have one. And up until this point, I've not needed one either. I don't want to walk around and look at a whole bunch of fragrance bottles. It makes no sense to me. Anyway, I'm moving this on. Okay, this next one I just, again, picked up because I was waiting for a prescription to be filled at a pharmacy or a chemist, whatever you call them, or an apothecary. And it was just there. And I thought, you know what? I haven't smelled this for a very long time. I've forgotten it. So I picked it up, and it was this one right here. It is another Burberry. Burberry's copping some flack from me today, but it's the original Burberry for men eau de toilette. Okay, so it's a small 30ml bottle anyway, and was only like maybe less than, it was maybe like $15 or something, right? So it's not super expensive, but it's not super memorable either. It's pleasant, it's all right, but it's got that sort of sunny afternoon from 20 years ago kind of feel. And it's the dry down is just a mess, and it hasn't really, and it's been reformulated as well. And the original wasn't really that great anyway, and it wasn't really that memorable. So I don't really want to go through a whole bottle, or even, I think I've worn this once. I've actually worn this once, and it wasn't memorable either. So I can't remember when I wore it, and I don't think if I were to wear this, anything I do would not be memorable, because this scent is not memorable. And if I was to smell this, I'd be like, I can't remember what I was doing when I was wearing this, because it was so non-memorable. Moving it on. Now this next one I bought in one of those haul videos, which I won't be doing ever again. I think I did 2, and I will not be doing any more of those haul videos because they're idiotic, and I don't think I like the idea of it. Anyone who does them, you're free to do them. I won't call the fragrance police on you, but I think that they're stupid. I think they're really stupid. Unless you're being sent all that shit for free from the fragrance brand itself, from the house itself, go nuts, more power to you. But for me, it's really a silly thing to do a haul, especially a haul of blind buys. And I have been silly. So it's not like I'm telling everyone else is bad and I'm good. I've also been just as silly because I got caught up in that shit too. So here I am with another bottle that I really want to get rid of, because this one I thought was pretty good, and people told me that, yeah, this is really nice, and the reviews I read on it were pretty good. And this is Penguin, an original Penguin by Munsingwear. The box kind of looks like this. I'm just showing you the box because it kind of gets a bit confusing with this line and what they called. So this is a red apple fragrance, kind of good for like autumn or fall, if that's what you call it. And I have used it a bit. I've worn it quite a number of times. I kind of enjoyed it, but it's got no longevity. It doesn't really develop into anything. Just red apple and vanilla, and it's a stock standard vanilla, not a really high quality vanilla, not an aged vanilla, not any vanilla with nuance. It's just your stock standard vanilla that they put in every cheap fragrance. And this is a cheap fragrance as well. So again, as a result of the cheapies haul and my nose developing and me comparing this to some really great scents that I've got, it just doesn't stand a chance to be worn anymore. It doesn't, like when I got it initially, I wore it quite a bit because it was around the time of the year where I was able to wear it. But now it just when will I reach for something like that? I won't. And that's why when you do those cheapie hauls, or when you do those haul fragrances, like when are you going to get to them? When are you going to get to them? Are you going to like have like 5 mils missing in each bottle? Power to you if that's what you want to do. But to me, That's not what I want to do. I want to give, fragrances their due. I want to be able to wear them and enjoy them knowing that I'm wearing the best, highest quality version of that thing. And with this, I don't feel I'm getting that. So moving it on. And the last one on this list, I have no idea how I got this fragrance. I have no idea. It was just there one day and I thought, I don't remember buying this. I don't think I did buy this. And I don't remember anyone giving this to me as a gift, because if they did, I would have the box. I don't have the box. So it must have been my dad's. And somehow it ended up with me. And so now, instead of giving it back to my dad, because my dad does not wear fragrance, he doesn't, he's not a fragrance guy. My mum's a fragrance person. She's a frag head through and through, and she won't wear this either. So this has to go to a different home that will wear it, and it won't be my home. So I'm moving it on. It is Montblanc. It is Legend by Montblanc. It is the Legend. I got to read this because it says edition speciale, and edition speciale. I think 2014 is this one, because it's got a bit of lime and woods and stuff in there, because they came out with special editions of this one. I think in 2012 and 2014 as well, and some other years. This is funny because it's an eau de toilette, but the concentration is actually higher than most other eau de toilettes, and you can tell this because they've actually put the concentration in there. Most eau de toilettes will have that 80% volume, which means by volume there's 80% perfumer's alcohol in here and 20% fragrant oils. This is 78%, which means that it's got an extra 2% of fragrant oils. This has got pretty good longevity. It projects really well. I think I used it a few times as a workout scent, like as a gym scent kind of thing when I was going to the gym. But these days I just like smelling my own sweat because it's lovely. I drink fragrances, that's why. So I'm moving this on because it just doesn't do anything for me. I don't actually get any use. If I want to smell like something similar to this, I usually gravitate towards Excess by Paco Rabanne, which I actually still do like quite a lot, and that's why I'm keeping that, because the juniper is really, really zesty in that one. They're nothing really too similar, but if I want a workout scent, then I'd go for that, because it really makes me like this. So there you go. That's the last one. 10. There you go. I've done 10, but it's not a top 10. It's not really a top 10. It's a list of 10, because it's not the top 10 fragrances that I want to get rid of. It's just 10 fragrances that I'm getting rid of, and I'm pretty sure if I start going through them, there's going to be a ton more fragrances that I'm going to get rid of, because I really need to declutter. And I think that's going to be my focus going in towards the end of the year, is to declutter everything. Do I need a lot of the things that I have right now? Probably don't, because I always had this thought that the more things that you hold on to, the more those things hold on to you, and they keep you sort of stuck in one particular place. And I don't like to be stuck in one particular place, especially in here and in here. Physically, I don't really mind. I can move around, but I really need to declutter. So that's what I'm doing. I'm getting rid of these, and I'm not giving them away for free either, because there's a philosophy behind that as well. If I give things away for free just to random people who don't really deserve it, or who I don't know as friends, then they're not going to value that, and I don't want that to happen. I want them to actually give me something, either another fragrance, even a decant of a really nice fragrance, or just give me some money and we can do an exchange. And that's how I'm doing them. I'm selling them. I'm not giving them away. I'm selling them because at least they'll have given something up in return for getting it, and it will have some kind of value to them as a result. So free is always nice, but it ends up biting you in the ass because you don't value the things that you get for free. So I've said it before, I've done a whole thing about free fragrances as well. I might drop the card in here somewhere that you can watch that about getting fragrances for free and what I think about that. So there you go. That was my list of 10. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you look at your fragrances in a different light now because of what you've just heard. And as always, thanks for watching.